Hey, welcome everyone to another exciting Lighthouse Live. We've been away for some time, but we are back with a very special guest. Today we're hosting Eric Venti. He is a compositor from Passion Pictures in Barcelona. It's very hot probably over there, so I hope your computer is not melting. Welcome Eric, and yeah, let's have some fun today.
Yeah, that's
So Eric is a graduate from Advanced course on Lighthouse Academy, and he was one of the most curious students in our cohort, and it shows because his final project is something else. It has everything. It has compositing. It has fun. It has humor. It has Easter eggs. It has everything. So. Eric, I'm honored to host you on Lighthouse Live.
yeah, pleasure to be here, Luca, and I'm always happy to be here showing what I did. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Just before we get into the video, I have a couple of questions. So, the people who don't know you, you are a compositor, like I said. But how did you become a compositor? And also, you started teaching VFX before going completely freelancing, right?
Yeah, that's true. I saw Toy Story when I was a kid, and once I saw that, I said I want to do CG. I didn't know anything about compositing or VFX or 3D or whatever, but I knew I wanted to do that. I want to do that thing. And then I studied 3D, like I started 3D with Livewave. Then I started a bit of Houdini, and then I studied Nuke. I started with Nuke with Fusion back then. And then when I tried the compositing, I said, okay, this is my thing. I want to. From all the 3D, the CG part, I like this the best. And yeah, I stuck with it. And then I started teaching when I finished studying in the school, FX Animation Barcelona. They told me if I wanted to teach there. I said yes. And I was teaching there for 4 years until I decided to go freelancing. And then I was 3 years freelancing here in Barcelona until I joined Passion Pictures until now. That I'm still there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, definitely please share your final project. It's called The Chef Block, and it has a very meaningful title. You will see, guys. It's amazing. You ready?
Sure thing.
All right.
I put it
Take it
block
away.
2 because maybe I do the block 1 or the block 3 or the block 4.
So there will be a sequel?
Maybe. I don't know. Do you see this thing? Do you see the screen?
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
go for it then. Let's
go.
See it first, and then I'll show how I did this thing.
Enjoy.
Welcome back. Before the commercials, we saw how this knife could cut any kind of food. So now let's try to cut something more difficult. What do you think about this? Look how this knife splits this 6-7 inches of pure steel faster than you split in your toxic relationship. Look what a clean cut. Not bad, innit? Let's now continue with, oh, hey buddy, do you have something for me? Come on, give it to me. Don't be shy. That's it. Thank you, tiny elf dude. Let's see what we can do with this. This ring proved to be indestructible in the past. Look how it succumbs against this sharp edge, gliding through it like if it was a fresh sausage roll. Well, this ring was a bit of a disappointment. Apparently there's 19 more out there. A friend who owns a pawn shop told me. But you haven't seen anything yet. Let's make things even more difficult to this amazing knife. Not sure if this is going to be enough for it. What do you think? Nah, not really. This tank will be too easy. But what is this guy talking about? Something even harder than a tank. Yes, of course. What about a giant aircraft carrier, 75 inches thick, torpedo-proof vessel? You think that will be enough? Let's go check it out. If this knife is able to cut this ship's hull, I don't know what else we could cut afterwards. Let me know in the comments down below. Well, here we are. Let's go straight to it. See? Soft as butter. Done. And we don't even have to sharpen it. They are lucky I am not a bank robber. Let's go back to the studio. What is happening here? Who is that man? Not our problem anymore. As you could see, this knife is absolutely amazing. Get it now in early access with all DLCs included, only for just $29.99 credits or half Bitcoin as today price. Call now!
Yeah, that's it.
All right, amazing. I mean, I've watched it a couple of times and it's still funny, man. So this project was concepted in your head since your high school. What was the original seed and why couldn't you build it until now?
The thing is, this guy, this chef actually exists. It's a guy called Chef Tony. And they used to put this in for commercials in the late at nights when it was 2003, 2004, more or less. And I remember sawing it with my friends and saying, why is the guy cutting a lot of kind of stuff? Why he stops there? Why he stops? Why he doesn't cut more stuff? And then it was there in the back of my mind. But the thing about not being able to do it is that it has to be live. It has to be live action. It cannot be cartoon or cannot be full CG because it's something we have already seen everywhere. It doesn't have the same effect to me. So once I started the course with you, I started to, I'll show it later, but I started investigating to maybe doing this thing that I had in my mind since then. And once I saw that was possible, I said, oh yeah, I'm going to go for it because this is, I can do it. And why not, Yeah. So, I'm very happy that finally I could go for it.
I've been hearing a lot of stories since then, since I've been using AI, I could now work on something that I only had in my head, and now it's possible to make it real. So it's been a revolution. And now we can do all the stories that we imagined.
And a lot of people ask me, how much would have cost you to do this live? Well, I don't know. You tell me.
You couldn't.
I mean, how much money you don't need? I mean, it should be done. Could be done by CG stuff with a mix of live and CG, but the cost would be,
a lot. Yeah. All right. Where did you get the idea for the Lord of the Rings? Are you a fan of Tolkien, or was it just when you were researching it, the idea just sparked in your head?
To be honest, the ring is the only thing that kind of during I was doing it, the first idea from the beginning was the anvil, the tank, and the aircraft carrier. But then I wanted something else to put in the middle. And I just thought, what is hard to destroy? What can be difficult to destroy? And I said, oh, look, actually, the ring could work because it's something small. And then I can put another character in there. That was something I wanted to do from the beginning. I wanted to kind of, push myself a bit, put another guy in there. And I said, why not? So that's why, basically.
I don't know if the audience caught it, but the chef says the guy in a pawn shop told me. So this is actually a reference to another AI video, right?
Is the reference to the other? I mean, the other one when Frodo sells his ring to the Pawn Stars guy. I saw that one, and I was, I need. That is very similar to what I want to do, and I said I have to put some reference to that one. I don't know if the guy has seen it, but I mean, if he said it, if he saw it, would be amazing. But maybe I don't know.
So you are Nuke compositor artist.
Yeah.
And what made you sign up for Advanced ComfyUI cohort? What were you hoping AI would give you that the existing tools didn't?
I mean, AI gives you a lot of stuff that actually you cannot do in Nuke. For example, just joining two shots together. That's something you have to struggle a lot to do inside the Nuke. You can do it, but you struggle a lot. And with AI, you put the end of one, you put the beginning of the next, fill the middle, and that's it. You have it done. But then, what made me join you was that I tried to get the best course I could. I was investigating for courses, and yours was the one that caught my eye, and I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one." And yeah,
let's dive in.
yeah. So yeah, very happy that it worked.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that, I imagine that a lot of people seeing that video had an idea how they could reproduce this with AI, how everything was done, but they have no clue. They have no idea what it took to create this video. So, Eric, can you show us how you do it?
Yeah.
How the process, what was the process?
Yeah.
So
I have a lovely PowerPoint here. Yeah.
Yeah, bring us to your journey, how this was made.
Yeah, let's go for it.
By the way, we are not showing any Comfy workflows. If you hope to see that, you're actually not. We're showing everything that went behind the making of, the real craft, the real story behind it, because basically the Comfy workflows are relatively easy, but pre-production is the one thing that you have to be careful and do a lot of testing and do a lot of work before you go into Comfy. So please, Eric.
Yeah, and because my workflows are a mess, so better if I don't show them. So yeah, this is what I did when I finished. So yeah, basically I'm just gonna slide through it because it's pretty straightforward as this works. So how this show? Okay, now this was the original guy. This is the Chef Tony from the TV from 2003, 2004. This is the actual one that I saw because I found it in YouTube. It is there. So at the beginning, I wanted to use him, but I said, maybe it's not a good idea. But yeah, you see him, he's cutting boots, he's cutting drywall, he's cutting bars of steel, and then the knife just cuts through everywhere. So I said, why is he stopping there? Why he's not cutting more stuff, right? This was the original idea that we were fantasizing with my friends when we were, 14, 15. So, I mean, it's stuck there, stuck in my mind, right? So with this idea in my head, I started doing very early tests. Just actually, this image here in the left is the first one I ever did. I put a chef in a kitchen with some knives in there, and I said, okay, that is good enough. Yeah, so why not?
Guys, remember this image because there is some stuff inside that will continue to appear in this slideshow. And I was impressed. By the end of this presentation, you will see why.
Yeah. And yeah, these were early tests, the same chef with a tank in the kitchen. I said, okay, this is working. Then I started doing tests, blind tests, only with prompting. This is all prompt without any kind of control, without any kind of reference with anything. Just put the chef behind the table with an anvil in front of him. It's cutting it. I mean, yeah, could work, but obviously if you don't have any kind of control, yeah, but that's not enough for me. I wanted more control to it. So yeah, then I was trying to see what I could do with the anvil cutting half. And yeah, it was good, but yeah, okay. So then I started
Here's the real magic. By the way, people, if you do have any questions, bring them in comments and I will collect them, and I will even interrupt Eric and ask those
stop me.
questions. So
If I start
please do.
speaking, maybe you have to stop me or something. But yeah, and I cannot read the chat, I think. But yeah, it's fine. Just stop me whenever.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, and then I started doing tests with some kind of control to see if I could control how at least something, maybe how the anvil got cut. And then here I started seeing the potential, because I said, oh, if I started drawing it by hand, how I would like to see the anvil cut in the table, and it kind of worked. It's pretty similar. It's almost there. And I said, okay, this could work, right? Then another thing I started trying is, okay, now that I know the images work, I'm going to try to see how much can I push the video only with prompting. I think this was LTX very early at the beginning, without any control nets, without anything, just prompting. I said, okay, this could work. I mean, visually is interesting. Visually is working. Obviously, it's not doing what I want, but yeah, I see some potential here. Then, obviously, I wanted the chef to move from one single shot to the tank. So then I started trying again with the first image and the last image of the LTX to see if this thing was possible and if it worked. And as we see here, it worked really well. I was impressed when I saw this thing. It's like, oh, wow, this is going to work 100% because the chef is just going there. Obviously, this is not the chef that I used later, but just as a proof of concept, yeah, this was working. I even tried to change the tank to this kind of luxury car with wheels and threads, but and then once I arrived there and I saw it was possible, I said, okay, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna do this thing as my final project as in the school. And then obviously I downloaded the original, the recordings from the TV with the original Jeff Tony. This is the guy. He's in TV. I think he's still in TV. But then when I started working with him, I said, I don't have the rights of him, so maybe I'm getting into trouble. I'm not going to go that way. So at some point, the AI gave me another character that was similar to it. So I said, okay, that's going to be good. And then I started working with at least the first shot, that was this one. And I changed the chef for this one. And I started working on I made all of this with Flux to Klein, is the one that I'm using for the image generation all the time. And I started preparing more or less a bit the pre-production. It's like, okay, this is going to be the background. This is going to be the anvil. It's going to be the guy. It's going to be there. I mean, the usual pre-production stuff. Then you're going to tell me, Luca, oh, but the knife has a double handle here. I saw that one very from the beginning. And I said, why not? I mean, yeah, I know it's wrong, but I don't care.
It's an Easter egg. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a double-handed knife. Maybe you can hold it with two hands if something is hard. I don't know. It's like, yeah.
So it's like a wink to a past, like leaving a character with 6 fingers on their hand in your video.
Yeah, it's like, it's a mistake that is there, but it's not a critical mistake. It's something that, oh yeah, it's fine. It would have cost me 5 minutes to fix that thing, or even less, but it's fine. It's gonna stay there. I don't care, And then with the guy in place, at the beginning, I wanted the chef to take the anvil from under the table. Then I started, as I tried before, with an initial image, final image, and by prompting, okay, the chef bends down and takes an anvil and puts it into the table. Obviously, this wasn't working. As you can see, the chef was doing everything but what I wanted. And then I said, okay, these will need some guides. So what I started to work in create the middle image of the chef holding the anvil in front of him. Well, I did a lot of iterations until at the end I got something that I wasn't happy with it. So I said, look, I need even more control to do this thing. So looking through internet, I found this picture of this guy holding an anvil on his hands. And this was kind of the pose I wanted for the chef. So I said, okay, I'm going to just put the chef in there. And then I'm going to put the image as a reference to Flux to Climb to kind of understand that I wanted the chef holding the anvil there. And at the end, I made it work. It was a lot of iterations with the other guy and obviously the chef holding it. So yeah, at the beginning, put the other guy in there. But yeah, this is all basically prompting and masking and fiddling with Flux to Climb, basically.
So this was also in painting, right?
Yes, was a lot of in painting. Yeah. And if you see here the watch on his watch, is because here the original one has this thing,
band,
and then it kind of came all the way to the end. Even the 160 kilos that we see here, we a lot in here. But you can delete that even with, and not in Photoshop, you can delete that. So I wasn't worried about that. So then, obviously, what I saw was that the size of the anvil didn't fit the anvil that I had there before as a final image. So I had to make it smaller to make the size match. So yeah, this is more in painting with the anvil being smaller.
But you could do that in Photoshop, right?
I mean, yeah, you could, but if you want to,
why go the easy way, right?
I mean, yeah, you could, but then you lose all the contacts with all the shadows. I mean, yeah, if you could do it in Photoshop, but it's gonna be a lot more difficult than doing it in AI. So,
and you wanted to do it with AI, of course.
Yeah. So once I had this image, was the middle image. I had these three guides: was initial, the middle one, and the final one. And then I was super happy because I said, "Oh, that's it. That's just gonna work." But obviously, AI likes to do whatever it wants. So these are some of the tests that I was trying to do. I wanted him to take the anvil from behind the countertop, and it didn't work very well. I had to try a lot until eventually I got something that I liked at some point only by machine slotting, would you say? Or what would you call it? Yeah.
By the way, Javier, this was not paid AI model. This was done with open source LTX. That's why it's so more impressive, because LTX isn't, let's say, the best AI video model out there, but it's one of the most controllable right now. But you didn't use the model with control nets, right, at this point, yeah?
At this point, I knew that existed, but I didn't try it yet. So that's why it took me so long to get something that I wanted. And even here, you know, the watch appeared and it disappears. I had to paint it out by hand, but yeah, that's another story. It's fine. So then,
but it works. It works.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So once I had this part, it's like, oh, this is what I wanted. Yeah, let's go to the next shot. So,
here we see the first depth map.
Yes, here the problem I had is I had to change his face because I didn't want to look similar to the original Chef Tony. So the problem I had is I had the shot. This shot was already working in terms of everything. The face was the only thing that wasn't working. So what I did is, using the same three guides, I extracted the depth map from this one and I ran it again. With, if you see, the face is different. I changed the face in the guides. So because I had the depth map, that's it. It was on the first go. I think it worked. Yeah. So I have the exactly same shot with a different face. So yeah, and I don't have to deal with in painting of the face or whatever. It's like I just did it from scratch again, but it was working because the depth map was telling what to do.
Yeah.
So here I started to learn that, okay, control nets may be something that I have to do more.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, once I had that shot done, I needed the second shot. The second shot had to be first shot, but zoom in. And you know that we have those LoRa's that you can rotate them. I think it's for Quen or even for flops that you can rotate the image.
Yeah, it rotates camera.
Yeah, but that didn't give me the control enough. That is good, but you cannot precisely put the camera where you want. So then I found this other one that is the Gaussian
splatting. Yeah.
Gaussian splatting. Yeah, there's a ComfyUI now that does the thing. So for this specific shot, it worked fantastically because you just put the camera where you want. Boom, that's it. You have the same shot from the place where you want. And that's it. That's how I got the first image for the second shot.
By the way, did you use Matt Hallett's workflow for this one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so basically that's how I got the first image. And then once I have the knife in there, I had to start thinking of how I'm gonna cut it. Because, and then as I showed before, just with prompting wasn't gonna work. So I started generating the guide images that I needed, and I wanted the hand to be in a very specific position. So I looked for references for a ton of hands until I found this one that was a pretty small image, but it was just the position I wanted. So with Photoshop and Nuke and a lot of, Photoshop and Nuke basically, I got this kind of control image for put precisely the knife where I wanted and the hand in the position I wanted. So yeah, basically from there, I started to iterate until I got the image and the position of the hand that I wanted. So basically,
so dozens of images just for one hand position.
Yes, so just for one hand position for one guide image of the final shot. So
a guide image.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, but this was kind of easy because the hand was above the anvil and nothing else. The knife wasn't interacting with anything else. The problem was the second part is when the knife has already cut the anvil. So basically, I was iterating a lot. Same thing again with control. I drove this myself with the mouse until I got something that I was happy with. So the first thing that took me a lot to get was this hand in this specific position because I wanted the hand just behind. So I was iterating until I got the hand. And these are all the iterations I did until I got the hand that I wanted. You can see that even here, I have at some points a blue part in here because I tried to tell Kling, okay, maybe the blue part is the hand and the rest is the arm. I mean, I did a lot of back and forth until at the end I got the image where I wanted, the image of the arm and the hand where I wanted. But obviously, this knife doesn't look at all like the knife that I was using. So then, once I had the arm where I wanted, I did the same thing, but for the knife, because I wanted the knife to be this shape. So yeah, I started to iterate again until eventually I got something that I was happy with. I don't remember what version is this, but one of these, yeah, this one. So a lot of work only to get the first and the last image of this second shot. And then obviously when you have the first and last image, you say, oh yeah, that's great. This is gonna work. Yeah, it works, but you have to iterate a lot until you find a cutting movement that you like. The good thing is that because you can control in what frame in time these guides are, you can control how fast it cuts the anvil. So that was fine. That was amazing, because then I could control more or less how fast it cut the anvil.
By the way, LTX also has framing limitations, right?
LTX framing, what do you mean?
So you can only do a certain number of frames. You can't do like 20 seconds of video.
You can do 20 seconds of video. 20
in one shot.
In one shot, but the problem you have, at least because I was doing everything local in my machine.
Yeah.
You have a limit in the amount of guides you can use before you run out of VRAM or RAM.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put more guides, you have to decrease the resolution of your generated thing. So
what was your resolution, working resolution?
I always try to work from 1080p from the start, because the
1080p.
Yes.
Wow. What kind of GPU do you have?
Sorry?
What kind of GPU do you have?
I have a 5090.
5090.
And 96 gigs of RAM. But even with that, for example, 3 guides, you can get 1080p, but you cannot get 20 seconds. I think you can get around 12 or 8 seconds before running out of VRAM.
But for this shot, more than enough.
Yeah, but this is the first half of it.
Okay, go on.
So, yeah, at the end, when I'm using 6 or 7 references, I need to work very small. And then on top, if you're using control refs, it's even worse. So you have to be very careful of how many references you use.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all of this work was only to make these 3 images and have the first half of the shot done. Then the second half of the shot, we needed the anvil cut on half in the table. And it had to be the same. So an approach I tried to do, at the end is the one that it worked, is I extracted the 3D mesh from one of the, I think was Trellis or one of the other ones, and was fantastic because it kept the same texture and the same size and everything. So basically what I did is I loaded inside Blender, I put the image at the end, I cut it in half by hand inside Blender, and I put it where I wanted it to be, basically. Put the camera, put the background, as you can see here, and then I put it where I wanted. And this is the render that I extracted from Blender. And as you can see here, now we're going to see that.
By the way, at the beginning of the project, were you even imagining that you would use Blender for the project?
Not really. I knew that I should use some kind of assistance for doing some of the shots, but during the course, I started to see that all of this was possible and how to start using this in actual production. Kind of. Yeah. And this worked like a charm, because then I put it inside there. I extracted the edges from the render, and I used this one as a guide to put the anvil in there. And then I iterated a bit more until I got what I wanted. At the beginning, I thought of putting the middle part rusted, but then I thought, look, if it's freshly cut, it wouldn't be rusted. It would be shiny. So that's why I changed it to shiny. And the best thing is that the anvil is the same. It's the exact same anvil with the same texture, the same everything. And once you have this reference image, then that's it. You have the second part of the 3 guides that you need. You start from this one, then I kind of find this image that I wanted. In some of the generations, I said, oh, this could work for the middle one. And then, yeah, it worked.
And the frame interpolation of the reflection inside of Anvil is brilliant. Did you expect this will work like this?
Yeah, I say this at the beginning, but there's these moments where you're doing AI that you say, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Say, oh, wow, this, I wasn't expecting this to work this well.
Yeah.
And those moments are amazing. I love those moments. Those moments are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then once I got the second part, you join everything together, and that's it. You have the second shot done. But then here I realized, okay, I wanted the next shot to be the Frodo one. But then when I started doing the next one, I thought, oh, wait, obviously I want continuity, but now he's having the 2 halves of the anvil in the table, on the top of the table. And if he wants to cut something else, obviously he has to move them away from them, right? So, oh, wait, first, there's this thing first. First of all, I wanted to put Frodo in there. So I found an image of Frodo, and I was just prompting on him and saying, okay, Frodo enters to the scene from the left, looks at camera, turns around and lifts his arm to give something to the chef. But obviously this wasn't working at all. So here is when I started to, okay, I want something very specific. He enters from the left, lifts his arm, turns around and gives him something, right? So then I said, look, I'm going to try to do it myself. So this is me against my white wall here in my living room.
In pajamas.
In pajama trousers. And this was the acting I wanted for him. So yeah. And the good thing is that you can kind of timing control it. So I put it inside Nuke. I kind of nudged it a bit because it was a bit slow at the beginning. So yeah, once I saw this thing, I saw, okay, now I have to put this guy in the kitchen, right? So yeah, obviously the table should be empty for him to cut it. So I was kind of fiddling a bit of the guy moving. Obviously, if I wanted continuity, he had to move away the two halves of the anvil. And I managed to get this one. This was like pure luck, only prompting. So this worked. I said, okay, I'm happy with this one. Yeah. So then I added Frodo in there, and I said, okay, then Frodo, because this Frodo is already put in top, and then the AI kind of understanding that I want the chef to interact with my Frodo me in there. This is kind of blows my mind a bit because the chef that this AI is interacting with Frodo, that is me at the end, it's kind of what. But obviously, this wasn't working as I wanted. The chef wasn't doing what I wanted.
I mean, the motion itself is working, the timing is working, but I can see that the ring becomes like a big elastic band.
Yeah, and obviously I wanted the ring to be very visible before the chef took it. Obviously I said, okay, there's no way AI is gonna do this correctly. So, as you guessed, I did it again. I failed myself doing what I wanted the chef to do. Same thing, same pajama. So, good. This is the sofa I have behind me. So, good. So once I had this thing, obviously I put both guys in there. And I wasn't happy with it at all, because if you see the chef, his head is strange. The position of the hand is not very good. So this wasn't working very well. And even the position of Frodo's hand, I wasn't happy with it. So what I did, first of all, I said, okay, I need to change Frodo's hand. I was looking for internet for specific hand position. Well, as you can imagine, I didn't find it. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just, this is my hand. This is me holding a, I don't know, it was a pin or a whatever thing I found here in my desk. And then, yeah, with a bit of comp, I managed to put the hand in there, in the guide. And that's it. Basically, this is Frodo holding the ring with the hand in the position I wanted. So once I have this thing, that's it. I have the guide just in there. But here is something something interesting. I had these are the 5 guides that I used to make this shot, right? The guy in there, then Frodo arrives, and gives the ring, and the thing looks to camera. But if you see here, if you see the control image, you see that some of the parts are covered by black. I discovered that if you cover them, the AI kind of has more liberty. So that's why all this part is covered. And I realized that the AI was doing actually better thing, because it was moving forward the chef in here to look at him, to look at Frodo. And this worked very well. Even with the hands, I removed the hands here because he didn't understand, the AI didn't understand very well how to put the hands on the sides. And yeah, this worked like a charm at the end. So I'm very happy for this.
So important thing here was the timing and a bit of motion. Everything else was figured out by the model.
Yeah, basically I'm giving a bit of a guide of, okay, here's the guide, this is the timing, do whatever you do. And the good thing is that all these guides are timed correctly with this control net too. Mm-hmm. So if you go to the frame, I don't know, let's say frame 50 of the control net is going to be frame 50 of the guide. So everything is matching perfectly. So that's why I love LTX, because you can use as many guides as you want with as many control nets you want under it, guiding everything. And you cannot do that in one, for example. In one, you cannot do that because they are different kind of modules, right? So yeah, in LTX, you can put everything in there and everything just works. It's great. Mm-hmm. I love it. And yeah, so after this one, obviously we have the other shot when he takes the ring with the hand. I wanted a very specific position of the hand holding the ring. I want some natural placement of the hand. So I found this image somewhere using the same method of Gaussian splatting. I put the camera in front, a little bit of iterations, done. I have the guide reference, the guide image. And then I started, obviously, as every time I start a new shot, I tried from just prompting to see what I can get. And this is what I got. I mean, it's interesting. He's cutting the knife. I mean, yeah, it is cutting it. But I wanted it to be a bit more precise. And this looks more like garlic to me, or onion or something. I mean, if it was metal, it wouldn't stick to the ring, I guess.
So Eric had a vision of how this ring should be cut.
I wanted something very precise, let's say that. Something that you could tell, you could precisely see how the knife cut the ring.
So like all those see how sharp my knife is videos, the macro shot of something that is slowly being cut. Yeah,
exactly, something like that. But then I said, okay, this is not going to work, so I'm going to do more guides. So,
of course.
obviously guides. So using again the image to 3D, I managed to export the ring in 3D and the knife in 3D to put them in where I wanted, basically. I even painstakingly cut the ring in Blender, slice by slice, until I got something like this. And then I tried with this one, but I mean, it is working, kind of. The ring at the end, it is in this position, but it wasn't as precise as I wanted. I wanted even more precise than this. I wanted, if you say how many cuts is it, 6 cuts, I wanted 6 cuts. But this wasn't good enough for me. I said, okay, yeah, and this is not the natural placing of the beats. Yeah, I discarded this idea. I didn't like it. So then again, I said, okay, let's go to the guide. The guide way road is always worked to me, at least. So again, knife in 3D, covering it, hand in very specific position, the ring in here, yeah, and this kind of worked. A lot more of iterations until I got what I wanted. It was funny because the ring was involved. It always added rings in the hands. It was a nightmare, kind of having to delete the rings all the time. But yeah, once I have those images, it was kind of easy because it was pretty controlled. It was just from the beginning of the ring to the end, so it kind of understood it very well. I mean, this was what is like 15 frames, 10 frames. Yeah, this worked kind of easy. So yeah, and here is the thing that once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. If you have a look at this arm is kind of doing very. It reminds me to you remember the ET neck?
Yeah.
It's
ET hand.
ET neck. Yeah, but and yeah, this shot, that's it, done. This shot was done just doing that, right? Yeah. Then in the next shot, I knew from the beginning that there was no way the AI would do the chef taking the bean and doing this movement with the hand. How would you even prompt for this movement of the hand? Like kind of cleaning the table
with his hand. Yeah, he
yeah, but
brushes the table with his. No, that would introduce a brush. Yeah,
it's like
that's a good point.
I didn't know how to prompt for this. I didn't even try. I said, look, I'm just gonna do it straight. just gonna film myself.
Guides work.
Yeah, guides work. I knew that the guides worked back here, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna just film myself. And this is me. And then I obviously then the AI didn't understand that I wanted a bin behind the countertop. I tried with the first and last frame. This is only with 2 guides. And obviously the AI didn't understand that I wanted a bin just behind the countertop. So do you imagine, right? More guides. I said, okay, this is what I draw, that I wanted the bin back there. And eventually I got it. Yeah, I got it there. So these are some of the tests that I did. So eventually, yeah, this is. But even with that, even with these 3 guides that you say, okay, this is pretty stable, right? AI, you will understand what I want to do, even with a control net under it. Well, even with that, the AI managed to surprise me because, as you can see, it added some kind of handles. In this one, this big thing appears here, and then it goes down.
But the fourth one kind of works,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah. I don't remember if this was this one, the one I used. I think the difference between these ones is that the chef is looking to camera at the end or something like that. I think the only difference between these two are the eyes. But yeah, the thing is, even with guides, the AI is gonna do whatever it wants.
Yeah, yeah. Eyes are issue.
And in this moment, I realized, okay, here the only thing I can do is just keep trying, changing the seed until it gives me something that I like, something that you could. What more you want to do? I mean, you can maybe take images from this one, remove the handle or remove the handle later with just normal comp. Maybe you can do that. But yeah, I mean, just do what you can. And yeah, so this one was not that painful, to be honest. And then the tank one. This one, to be honest, it was very fast, very easy, because I already had this image that I was happy with and the chef, and I knew that this was gonna work because I tried it at the beginning. So I took the old image, changed the chef, put it in there, and with only 2 guides, I had what I wanted. I did maybe 10 generations with this one. In the prompt
But
was...
hold on. Be honest. Did you want to do something with Tank? Because it seems like you wanted to do something, but it didn't work, and then you went to the carrier.
Basically, when I arrived to this shot, I said, okay, in terms of the editing, I thought this is gonna get too long. If I stop here and the chef does something with the tank, the short is gonna get too long, and I wanted to do the ship afterwards. So I said, you know what? He just says this is gonna be too easy. Yeah, that's it. Something else. I can do whatever I want. So
just to let the audience know that this was the final shot at the final presentation of the course. So when I saw this video for the first time, it stopped with the tank.
Yeah. And yeah, but this one, yeah, the only issue with this one is I wanted him to take the knife before going to the tank. So I had to iterate a bit more at the beginning and saying the guy takes, the chef takes the knife from this left side of the image or something like that, I think. And yeah, it just worked. Then some people told me, oh, maybe he could have cut the canon just doing like that, or maybe cutting the threads like that. And I said, no.
And here's another week spent.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, man. No. let's move on. And yeah, from here, same thing. The ship. I knew that this would work, so I did a couple of tests. This is what I got at the beginning, that I was happy a bit with it. But then when I started looking at it with more critic eye, I thought this shot is a bit long, and if you see the sea, it kind of loses the wow factor, or what the hell is this guy doing in the docks just with 3 steps away. So yeah, basically what I did is I made it shorter. I generated it a couple of more times until I was happy with his movement. I fixed a couple of guides in the middle. For example, this wall with some wood in there is an idea that I had from the beginning too, that I wanted to do here. It's kind of if the background was painted on this kind of wood thing. So yeah, this worked. And then
Javier has a question. He's asking, he says that's interesting,
Yeah.
but how do you prompt screen left, or do you prompt chef's right side?
Yeah, that's a good question, because basically the AI doesn't have a clue. Sometimes you tell The chef goes to the left, he goes to the right. You iterate again, you change the seat, it goes to the left. So
I usually
what usually works is image left corner or image right corner or image left side or image right or top or bottom side. That's something that usually works better than the chef left or right side.
I use frame right and frame left.
Yes. Yeah, that's something that usually works better than because sometimes you say the chef's right hand.
It doesn't know what's going on exactly.
It doesn't have a clue. Yeah. And then here, I wanted to cut straight away to the next shot. I wanted to just do a cut shot. But then I thought, wait a second, I have AI, I can do whatever I want. And at the end, this looks like a green screen. I said, this looks like a green screen. I don't want this to be like a green screen. So I started testing. First of all, I tested with just 2 images, this one and this one, that I photoshopped this kind of walk thing. And it was funny because I added a couple of the motorbike there at the car. But once I did 4 or 5 iterations and I saw that this was possible, I said, yeah, let's go for it. Why not? I changed the guide images and it worked. Here in this one, it's funny because I remember this one prompting for some seagulls in there. And this looks like and here, this is the only, I think it's one of the few parts that you only have to generate until you're happy with it, because I cannot film myself doing that. Well, I can film myself walking, but with this precise movement, with this, it's not, I don't see how I could film myself doing that. So basically I was just iterating until I was happy with something, with whatever I was happy with, until I iterated maybe 20, 25 times probably, until I got something that I was happy with. Yeah, and yeah, it worked. I mean, here I started to go faster generating the shots because I knew what worked and what didn't work. And here we come to the big thing that this shot was kind of my nightmare, my own nightmare. Because first of all, I tried with this camera position, but it was too far away from the...
Are you able to zoom in a bit so we can see what's going on? Because it's very hard to see the shape.
Oh, yeah. Can I do this? Oh,
control scroll, maybe?
Yeah, I'm trying that, but it's not. It's fine. It's
okay.
It's basically it wasn't working. It's just yeah, AI didn't understand because the action is very small in frame, so it was doing a mess. You have
to know that every time you are working on a small portion of an image or a video, you will probably get more hallucinations. And it's better to zoom in or to do a cropped version and kind of in painting than crop and stitch. And this is how you can get it right. But Eric, what did you do?
Well, basically put the camera closer.
There you go.
Basically using the same technique I used before with this Gaussian splatting thing, I just moved the camera inside, and then I just did the in-betweening between them too. So the first frame,
of course, the position of the arm and the position of the knife, which is obviously your thing.
Yeah, so here basically the same thing again. I started iterating until I found the position that I wanted, him holding the knife. In this specific part, I wanted to be very critical with the hand position I didn't want it to just be a mushy thing. I wanted to be, okay, this hand has to look real or feasible at least. So basically I iterated on, I used references for this one until I got something that I wanted. And the same for the hand extended. I iterated here a bit until I had some of the cut in the metal as I wanted. And at the beginning, I thought myself, with 3 guides, first, middle, and last again, it will work. And obviously, first of all, I thought, okay, if the guy has the hand like that and rotates it, at the end, the hand has to be rotated. You know, the hand has to be facing the camera, right?
Yeah.
If you do that, the hand has to be in that position. So, yeah, again, a lot of iterations until I got, I think that hand at the end is my hand. I think I didn't put it here, but I think at the end I said, look, I'm going to just take a picture of me holding something and I'm just going to put it.
Guides, of course.
Guides. Yeah. And I was, I thought that with these 4 guides, this was going to work because, come on, I mean, the AI only have to follow the line, right? Just follow the line and that's it. But it didn't work as I wanted because the hand wasn't good enough when it's down. When it's just at the beginning, when he's at the top, it's good because the hand is just a follow, it's just a vertical motion. But when the hand goes down and rotates, it wasn't doing it enough for me. So you guessed, right? Yeah, more.
Vadim has an interesting comment.
Yeah.
He says, I would encourage not to be afraid to use editing to plan your shots to avoid some of these technical challenges.
Yes. Editing. Yeah, we need that. I think I don't understand.
So I think this goes for everyone. So pre-planning is essential. A lot of people go in blindly and test it and test it and test it until it gets done, right? But if you go into it beforehand and you know technically what needs to be done, then it might be much easier to nail it.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, I knew what I wanted. The thing is, you always try to go the shorter option. So if at the first try the AI does what I want, that's it. I don't have to do any guides, any in betweening. But as I showed here, if with 4 guides is not enough, I don't have other option that do the guide that I need. I need an extra guide there to tell the AI, okay, I want this hand precisely here and precisely in this position. So once I had hand in here correct, that's it. Then the AI understood, okay, I know what I have to do. And yeah, basically here did it well because here it understands that the hand, how it has to be in these 3, 4, how many guides I have? 6 guides. So yeah. Yeah, and this is the good thing because then you can control each one of them. Can take you more or less, but at the end you're controlling precisely what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the spacing of the guides, you can control the timing or the velocity of the guy, doing whatever you want basically.
Vadim is clearing himself out. He says, have shots serve the story. Sometimes on set, we pivot to serve the story better. But this wasn't actually a shot. This was experiments.
Yeah.
And this was a learning experiment. So that wasn't a client video. That's the solely purpose was to learn as much as possible. So I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You achieved your goal.
Yeah. And basically I wanted to be very precise, technically speaking, and see how much I could force it, because now I know that AI is good when it has guides. If it doesn't have guides, it might
does its own thing. Yeah.
does its own thing. Or so maybe you need to help it a bit. And yeah, with this done, I was very happy, because then the only thing I had to do is put the
Pop it out.
cut it out. This was easy because I just did a bit of in-painting here. I even found some references of, I found this thing somewhere, and I said, look, this is what I want. This is how it has to look. A bit of iterations until done. The same thing with this one. I did the position of the metal block. I did it inside Nuke. This is put here with some corner pins. So this is actually, and this is some masks, some rotos to put it red. So yeah, and this worked. Could be better, yeah, absolutely. But I was happy with it. And to be honest, when I was here, I wanted to finish this thing already. I said, look, yeah, let's finish this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the final shot actually was faster than I thought, because I knew how everything worked. And so I was doing some tests of, I wanted the knife to be inside a blister, because I wanted to do the joke of the knife cutting through it. That's something I wanted to do. And I was testing with some initial tests. Flux Klein works very well with this thing. It's amazingly how well does these kind of things and how much control you have. So I was iterating a bit. I wanted the chef to be the same chef. I wanted to be the same image of the chef in the blister of him holding it. So basically, this is the same image that I was using at the end. And I just put it here. I did a bit of iterations of it. I wanted to put the chef because a friend of mine told me, oh, why don't you put the chef? Yeah, why not? Yeah, there you go.
Done.
And yeah, at the end, I decided, okay, this is fine. This is good enough for me. Could be way better. Yeah, but yeah, it's fine. And then I added this image because the AI Flux didn't understand very well how to put the blister on top of the table. So basically, I generated this image to be able to put the blister here, top of the table. And yeah, same thing with the reference images. Basically, I put the chef in here. I said Flux to client, okay, the chef is holding the knife, the hand, and at the end, the hand is the hand. The knife is stuck on the table. And yeah, this was pretty fast and easy doing this thing, because I already had the knife, had the guides. He's speaking, he's saying what I wanted, and that's it. But the funny thing is, yeah, at the end I just joined how I joined the different seams between shots, basically. And yeah, it's working well. I'm showing this later, so that is fine. And it's funny thing that the last thing I did was just the beginning, because I didn't know until here. I didn't know how to start this thing. I finished it and I said, okay, how I'm gonna start this thing. And the idea came from the original video from the chef Tony. Actually, they started this thing. They have a bit in the show when they come back from people talking, and they start just like that. And I said, look, that's it.
They do the crane shot through the to the public. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have to invent anything. But it's funny because I started from this crappy image that I found somewhere. This was the original image, 300 by 168 pixels. And I was iterating as a reference with the chef image that at the beginning that you all know. Well, you can see here the iteration process is just iterating, putting more people at the end, putting the background black, putting some cables, putting the guy smaller, until I got there, until I was happy with it, basically. I mean, at the end, in this case, was easy because I could decide when it was okay. I guess if you have a client, you cannot do that. You have to wait until the client says what is good. Yeah, and then the same thing with the guides. I had the initial image from the first shot and the first frame of the scenario here from the crane camera movement. And then it's true that in this one, at the beginning, it wasn't working very well. I didn't understand what I wanted to do until I used some of the camera LoRa's from LTX. LTX has, it has movement left, movement right, has a couple of LoRa's that does movement, that they do movement. So yeah, it worked really well. And once you have the movement you want, you can kind of bake it with the depth as I used at the beginning with the first shot. And here is where I got a bit down the rabbit hole. Because here,
remember at the beginning when I told you remember the knives?
I got this. This took me a bit longer than I expected to solve this thing. Because the movement of the camera, if you see these knives here, they kind of morph. How would you call it, Luca? It's kind of morphing or blobbing or I don't know how to call this thing. Even with the fruits, if you see the fruits here, they kind of move away.
So most of people would just say, yeah, it's okay, it's fine, we don't need such level of details.
Yeah,
but Eric,
I said myself, I cannot leave this thing like that. I mean, the most important thing in the entire shot, in the entire thing are the knives. So I thought these knives have to be kind of okay. These knives cannot be blobbing through here. So here I had a happy idea that worked very well. So basically, the first thing I did was with the Gaussian splatting, I moved the camera from the countertop a bit to the right and a bit to the top, and then I generated the geometry from the knives and the fruits. This is all generated with Trellis, I think. So first of all, these knives are these ones, and I had them in CG. I had them inside Blender. So then what I try to do is like, okay, let's see if I can get the camera from basically doing a normal track from the camera movement, and using CallMap. You know, there's a YouTube video from a guy, I don't remember his channel or his name, that he shows how to use photogrammetry software to track cameras. So that's fantastic. And it worked very well. So basically, I extracted the camera, a synthetic camera. This is a track from a camera that doesn't exist, and it worked very well. So basically what I did is I put the geometry knives and fruit where they should be with the camera. It was tracking correctly. This was fine. So then what I did with this thing is, in the original video, I stabilized the knives and the fruit. And then from Blender, I exported the edge, what do you call it? Edge render, edge.
Canny.
Yeah, but inside Blender it's not canny. It's
It's edgeless, yeah.
the comic, no, the anime style thing. I don't know how to call to
The
that.
line.
Yeah, the line render or the edge. Yeah, and this is what I got from Blender. And what I did is use this. Obviously, this is not moving. This is not blobbing. This is not doing anything. So basically, what I did is I used this render from Blender plus some guides to use as a canny for this specific image. Basically, I am rendering a stabilized version with the canny that comes from Blender.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, if this worked well, this worked very well. Look at this clean,
yeah, obviously
knives. This is working very well. There's a wipe here that I don't know what is. Why is it there? It shouldn't be there. Actually, it's not in the end one. But basically, I managed to get some intermediate guides and a canny from Blender, and then the same for the fruits. The fruits was a bit easier because they don't overlap. I didn't do anything strange. And once you have that, you only put on top like with normal comp, and you have it. You have a perfectly stable knives there that they don't boil, they don't morph, they don't. These are the ones.
they're perfect.
I was surprised how well this thing worked. But obviously this worked because the camera tracked work and because the CG models worked. So basically it's some kind of an hybrid approach. I don't know how even to call this because you are extracting from Blender the canny straight away. I don't know how to call this thing, but it is working. So that's what matters. And yeah, and once you have this thing, you have it, and you just basically blend it with the next one, and that's it. You have it.
That's it.
That's it.
Finished.
You have the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then here, I'm gonna just put this thing here. These are my final thoughts after doing it. It's a lot of text, I know. I don't know if reading through it or not, or you can read it yourself if you want. But basically, I'm going through it very fast. First of all, if you pay attention, the chef doesn't look the same at the beginning of the shot that at the beginning of the show that at the end. So that's something obviously that has to be fixed. It's something that I didn't pay attention until the end. So basically, at the beginning, what you have to do is generate a LoRa for basically do pre-production of how the people in your shot will look like, basically. Then the second point was an absolute mess because every time you generate an image with flux or with whatever, you will have color shifting and pixel shifting 95% of the times. So every time you generate an image, you have to do a post-process of matching again with the original one, because otherwise you're going to have, well, you've seen in all my GIFs that the image is always moving a bit. So it's a must to work with overscan. I think the overscan is going to be something basic. Yeah, it's what I say here in the third point, that we have to avoid all the images. They have to be kind of flawless and kind of pixel perfect, kind of. As I explained, as long as was going through the making of this short, I was faster because I was controlling it better. So as long as we can control it more, we're going to reduce the costs of having to just try again. So using control nets and guides is a way of kind of controlling your damages and going through what you want instead of leaving the AI do whatever it wants. Yeah, the same thing that I locked. When you're happy with something, you can lock it with the depth or the control of the canis. Then this movement, this kind of these times when you generate something. The first time I did the movement from the tank to the ship, it was, oh wow, this is cool. I remember myself saying, this is fantastic, this is great, you know. And yeah, that's a very good feeling. Very good feeling. Then, as I explained, and you could see, there's a lot of comp. There's a lot of comp done in the images as a guides and in the final video. There's a lot of things that they haven't put here because I thought this is boring. Wrist ratchets appearing in a lot of times that you don't want it, so you have to delete them by hand, or rings. There's a lot of shots where you have rings in the hands for maybe 10, 15 frames. And it's like, oh, how the hell I'm gonna fix that? You just go, I'm saying I'm gonna be faster just painting them out by hand. So yeah. Then yeah, the amount of file generating is a lot. I have almost 30 gigabytes and 10,000 files in my output folder. Now it's all everything more clean, so that's fine. Yeah, and I was working with everything with H.264. So if I was working with EXRs to have,
that would be a terabyte.
That would be, or yeah, 30 gigabytes, now 30 terabytes maybe, or
yeah,
insane. And yeah, the last 2 points are something that happened to me, obviously, because I don't have any kind of pipeline in between Comfy and my local Nuke. If I had to change an image, I had to go to Nuke, open Nuke, load it from the output folder, change it, export it, open Comfy, load it, change it again, export it, go to Nuke again. It was a bit of a mess.
So that's why you have, for example, the studios have centralized server and centralized file system.
Yeah.
And everything sits in one place. So you just hop from one computer to another, and it kind of works seamlessly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of need some kind of bridge between Comfy and Nuke.
Yeah, Nuke or Photoshop or whatever other tool you use. And then the final thing is that you asked me before about LTX Director. LTX Director, I didn't have it when I was doing this. And now I think for a lot of shots, it would have been very good to have it. And you're talking, I was doing this in March, April.
Yeah.
So maybe now the method I was using has become obsolete, or
that's 2 months, right?
And it's 2 or 3 months away, 3 months ago.
Exactly.
So you have to be always constantly learning things and seeing how everything works and what new tools we have. And yeah, I think that is where it is. I mean, at least if you want to be kind of competitive, or I don't know if competitive is the word, but faster or better, or yeah,
exactly. I mean, you can lock in a workflow, you can lock in model and LoRa's if you have some kind of a niche production, and if you're fine with that. But if you want to work with the cutting edge technology and want to streamline your production or whatever you're doing, then you just have to research. You just have to be in the loop, always, constantly, and that takes time as well.
Yeah. Because even if LTX Director came out when I was doing this, and I thought I'm gonna try it when I finish, because if I have to try it now,
Yeah.
It's gonna take me time of production, of doing production stuff. So basically, I've ended testing all the new tools when I finished.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, congrats on the video. Congrats on the
And that's
presentation.
it.
That was very, very informative.
And that's it.
And it's just one more proof that control is everything. If you want to create your idea, if you want to make your vision realistic and not make compromise, you have to use controls, guides, of course.
Guides or controls, or I mean, I guess you can get your desired output after rolling the dice
Too many times.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But when do you stop?
Exactly. By the way, I just posted, I think it was last week, that you can now preview your videos in case samplers, and you can do the seed hunting, actually. So you do a quick preview. It takes you 10 seconds, and you get 4 options. And when you feel like one is right, you log the seed and you render the whole pass.
So basically, that's seed hunting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I read it somewhere, but I don't know what actually means.
Yeah. Check out my profile, scroll down a bit, and you will see it. You'll get it. Yeah.
So basically,
this would also streamline your process by a lot.
So basically, you can see 4 videos at the same time, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on a very low resolution, just so you see it's doing the character is doing the right move or the right thing, or the camera is doing the right motion. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Eric, like I said, that was so informative.
Yeah, I hope
absolutely
you liked
follow,
it.
Follow Eric on his LinkedIn. Do you have any other social media? Do you have YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, and for now, that's it.
Yeah, all right. And what are you working on right now?
I'm preparing a LoRa for Flux to Climb, where you can control the sun direction. Hopefully, I can release it soon, because it's still not perfect. But maybe I release it anyway, and then I fine tune it later.
I know that Maggot had a wonderful workflow 2 years ago, I think, where you could control the position of the sun, and it also relighted your whole image based on the daytime.
Oh, yeah.
So that was cool. Yeah. All right, Eric, thank you so much again.
Yeah.
And it would be an honor having you on the show. If you have something to show us, I would love to host you again. So thank you so much. And yeah, everyone, thank you for watching. Everything you've seen here, you can learn in Lighthouse Academy, Advanced Comfy course. We are in the middle of a course right now, but we are doing another course in September. So definitely go check out our website, lighthouseacademy.ai, and find a course that you like. We are on the verge of starting a Figma Weave course, the second cohort. So maybe this is something that is good for you. Absolutely check it out. And yeah, I'll see you next week, where Raoni and I will have a work session, and we will show how to create a great workflow in Figma Weave. So thank you again for watching, and goodbye.
Yeah, and everyone, just if you have any question, just send me a message from LinkedIn. in LinkedIn. I just answer everyone.
Post your questions in the comments or contact directly Eric. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lighthouse AI Academy.